everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We are in 2025. So the last time I came before you, we were in 2024. I am so excited to see you all for the new year. Happy Sunday 2025. 2025. Man, I have to get used to saying 2025 because you know how you get programmed for a certain year. And, when the new year finally arrives, you have to get your mind right for the new year. So that is me. I'm literally trying to make 2025 flow naturally. Although I am super excited to see another year. I just want um, nothing but great things for 2025. I try to do everything to start it off on the right note. So I'm hoping that, this be the year of prosperity and peace. Hey, Alta Punker. Hey, honey. Thank y'all for being here. Yes, yes. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yeah. So I hope everybody has been having a good day so far. A good day so far. I know we're in the afternoon. It's a new year. If you're like me, you are trying to get accustomed to the year and all the changes that's bringing. I know for us, we've been dealing with a lot of frigid weather and we've been dealing with a little bit of snow. And rumor has it that we're supposed to get some more. you know, Low key, I am not even mad at that because I'm looking for a snow day. I said it. I'm looking for a snow day because um, school resumes for the kiddos, and I truly, truly, truly enjoyed my break, my vacation. So I'm trying to get my mind right. I'm trying to get my mind right. Yeah, and with the new year has been coming a lot of things going around. People have been getting sick. I, I'm dealing with that in my own house. I have, people around me getting sick. Like I said, my son, my husband, and if you guys have not noticed, my lovely co-host is not here. So the new year has got to her too. The new year bug. So we want to keep my sister in prayer. She is dealing with whatever's going around. So she is not going to make it in today. So, we're going to pray that she gets better and feels better very, very soon. Okay. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for coming in. So yeah, I have an interesting topic to talk about today. Interesting topic to talk about today. This is one that I struggle with a lot. I struggle with it a lot. I think I've gotten much better with it. I think I've gotten much better. But um when I think about it, um, a lot of it like resonates to how I should move forward with a lot of things. Okay. So my topic for today is forgiveness is not for you. Forgiveness is not for you. So I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute. I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute because I know that I struggle with forgiveness. I struggle with forgiveness, but forgiveness is not for you. It's for me. Okay. So I know you hear that cliche a lot, they say, I'm not forgiving you, I'm forgiving you for me. Okay. And that's a lot of realness and truth to that. Okay. So I'm going to break that down into why, it is for you and not for others. Okay. So they said forgiveness is actually considered to be primarily for the person who is choosing to forgive. Okay. Let me repeat that. Forgiveness is actually considered to be primarily for the person who is choosing to forgive, right? So that's where that saying comes from. Forgiveness is not for you, okay? And that touches home for me in a lot of ways, a lot of ways. They said as it is a way to release themselves from the burden of anger and resentment, allowing them to move forward emotionally, even if the other person doesn't apologize or change their behavior. So let me put a pin in that. Woo! That makes me have that release moment because it's been times when I have been done so wrong. Hi, sister. I love you. I know. I hope you're getting treated well today. Hope you're getting treated well today. Yes, yes. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Thoughts and prayers are with you. I want you to feel better real soon. Um, yeah. So you know how it's sometimes when you know, find it hard because somebody that did you wrong, they did you dirty, and you know, you just angry and you have all this resentment and it messes with you emotionally. I have been through those times where I went through all different stages. Like, you know, you just want that person to pay and suffer for what they done for you, right? Oh my God. So, whew, yeah, but they said, you know, it's not for them, it's for you. It helps you move on emotionally, right? So they said it's a lot of key points to remember about forgiveness. So they said it's about your own healing. That part for me. That part for me. Like being able to heal. Being able to heal. Okay? Because holding on to stuff, it only makes you sick. It only makes you sick. So if you sit there and you hold on to all the hurt and the anger, you're only hurting yourself because be looking, people look at you and they say, okay, well, you know, you're wearing all your resentment, you're wearing all your anger on you and things like that. So when you forgive, you're taking all that burden off of you, all that burden off of you. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yes. So, yeah. Um, they said forgiving someone is primarily about freeing yourself from the pain of the past, not necessarily about changing the other person's actions. And you cannot, you cannot change anybody. You cannot change anybody. And I always say, people are going to do what they want to do. They're going to do what they want to do. Whether you like it, whether you agree with it or not, they are going to do what they want to do. Right? So you can't change anybody. People changing is their own personal choice. Okay. So when they do something to you, um, sometimes you have to be the bigger person. Okay, because you know, holding on to it is not going to change them. Okay, but you have to change something within you. Okay, so you can keep moving forward and move on with yourself. So they said it doesn't mean that you're forgetting that part. That part. So you know how they say forgive, but don't forget. That been me all day. Like when I keep repeating forgiveness is not for you, it's for me. Like just because I forgive does not mean I forget. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Yes, it is not for you. It is for me. Yes. So, yes. So they said it don't mean forgetting. Absolutely not. It does not mean forgetting. It does not mean forgetting. Um, They said forgiveness doesn't mean you have to forget what happened. Facts, 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 facts. Because I can recall back to the end of time things that have happened to me, things that have been said or done that I have not forgotten, and I don't think I ever will. But it's like when you choose to forgive and move forward, like the other person might be thinking like, okay, they forgot all about it, they forgiven and stuff like that. And we're moving forward. Okay, yes, we can move forward. We absolutely can move forward. But it's a fine line to that. It's a fine line to that. Because, some things you can't move forward with, okay? Like you may be able to forgive, but moving forward with that person, okay, may not happen. May not happen. Okay. Like, and I'll give y'all a lot of examples of that. Like it's like it could be like a family member, okay, that does something to like really hurt you or like stab you in your back or whatever. And I'm just type like this. So I'll give you a couple opportunities to try to fix or repair it, okay? Um, First time, you do it, okay, we might could look past it, depending on the severity of it, okay? Maybe like, okay, bygones be bygones, okay? We can try to move forward. But if you do it again, it's like, okay, now I gotta really back up and reevaluate it because I might have forgave you for the first incident, but if you repeat something else, it's really gonna make me look at you different, and then I'm gonna revisit the first incident that you did. Okay, it's like, all right, see, I moved past the first time, but now you're doing something else. Now I gotta really pause and step back from you for real, for real. Now, really gotta step back from you. Okay, so yeah, um, it's like they say, not condoning behaviors. Now, forgiving someone doesn't mean that you're saying their actions were okay or that you approve of them. I totally, totally, totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Okay. Because there's been situations where I'm like, I don't think I could ever forgive you for that. I don't think I could ever forgive you for that. Okay. But for me and my sanity, it's like, okay, all right, I have to. I have to at this point. I have to. Want to you super how much I appreciate you super chat you. Oh, thank you. I wish I could do super chats right now. I'm not able to right now, but I appreciate the thought. Um, yeah. So I could think of a lot of different scenarios where I've really had to reach down to soul search, and it makes it hard, especially when you have to like see this individual or these certain people, and you know they did something wrong or know they did something dirty. And me, I always say this. I laugh and chuckle about it because I say I'm a crab by nature. My zodiac sign is a crab. Okay, and I know I can be really tough and have like a tough exterior, so it's like hard to really get close to me in a lot of aspects. Like you really have to come correct for me to like really like embrace you or pull you into my circle, into my world, right? So it's like I have to let that shell go. Okay, like it's like, all right, okay, I'm gonna let you in. All right, I feel like that I can like have a level of trust with you and connect with you, so I'm gonna let you in, right? And then somebody turn around and betray that trust. It's like it's like clutching my pearls. Like, see, that's what I get for trusting. That's what I get for trusting. And I have a hard time with trusting, and I always say that I'm a crab. But if I let you into the mushy side of me and you portray that, that shell closes right back up. It closes right back up. Right. So they said, like again, forgiveness is not condoning the perpetrator's behavior or justifying their offense or excusing their behavior. Okay. Never, 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 ever. So, while we diving into this topic of forgiveness, like, just think about it when it comes to you. What is it doing for you when you forgive? Like, have you ever been in that situation where you think you couldn't forgive and it was like really eating at you? It was really eating at you, to where you couldn't function. Okay, because I've been there where I just was like so angry that I'm like, oh my god, like they're living their life, they did this, they did me dirty, and they're living their life. They're not having any consequences, they're not having any punishment for what they did, and it can really eat away at you. Can really eat away at you. So I had to learn, you know what? Let go and let God. Let go and let God, because I'm a strong believer of karma, and what goes around comes around. And I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. And when they say let go and let God, like it's been a lot of instances where I just say I'm gonna let go and let God because He sees all. He knows all. You did me wrong. You did me dirty. So nothing's good gonna come out of that. Nothing's good gonna come out of that. But the question that someone had was, why shouldn't we forgive? Why shouldn't we forgive? Right? They said why we shouldn't forgive is like the pressure to forgive can lead some people to feel guilty or for prematurely forgiving. Yeah. Yeah. Um that has happened to me in many cases where I'm like, okay, I'm going to forgive this person, and then they turn around and repeat this the same offense or something similar, and then I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have let them off the hook that fast. You know what I mean? I should have like made them like sit in that for a while and not, been so easy to forgive and let it go, because that opened up the door for something else, right? They said like, it makes you feel like prematurely forgive somebody. And I could totally agree with that. I could totally agree with that. I said that we should not feel an obligation to forgive someone who has hijacked our souls and made it impossible to find peace. Mm, mm, mm. Whew, man, let's put a pin to that. Hijacked our souls and made it impossible to find peace. Man, man, oh man. Do you understand that like holding on to a lot interrupts your peace? I know I can speak for me. It definitely interrupts my peace. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Yes. So, you ever heard them say, like I said, I can't sleep, I can't eat, you know? That's disturbing your peace. That is really disturbing your peace. And I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm like, I'm not letting nobody disturb my peace. I'm not letting nobody disturb my peace. Especially going into this new year. Oh my God. Like I started last year, like when I started noticing that people were disturbing my peace, it was like I had to like cut it out. I had to cut it out. Like I really had to be like, you know what? They moving funny. I don't like how they rocking. I don't like the way they doing things. So, you know what? I gotta back up. I gotta back up because it's messing with me. It's messing with me. And it's okay to do that. Like if you feel like somebody's messing with your peace and you're zen and everything, take that time, back away, like get yourself together, okay? They the one gonna have to deal with it, okay? Because when they see that you have backed away, and you're still in your piece and they haven't moved you in any type of way, it makes them step back and think like, wow, okay, they don't seem phased by what has happened or phased by what occurred or something like that. Okay, that gets them to thinking. Okay, that really gets them to thinking. So yeah, don't let nobody disturb your peace. Don't let nobody disturb your peace. So they said that what is the old saying about forgiveness? What is the old saying about forgiveness? So when I read this, it makes me chuckle, okay? They said that the stupid neither forgive nor forget. The stupid neither forgives or forget, right? They said the naive forgives and forget. Ooh, the naive forgives and forgets. Like, wow. And they said the wise forgives, but do not forget. I had to snap on that one. Ooh, the wise forgives, but do not forget. Wow. When I say that resonates with me, that resonates with me because I can forgive you, but will I ever forget? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And we could still move and rock, and I could still be cool and everything, and forgive you because forgiveness is not for you; it's for me, for my mental and my peace of mind. Okay, But have I forgotten about it? No, 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 no. I have not forgotten. And especially if you do something else, like similar to the first offense, like I said before, oh, trust me, the floodgates are going to open up and I'm going to be like, oh, okay. All right, here we go. Revisiting the first incident. So I forgave you for the first time. Then you turn around and do something else. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Like that leads me to that saying where it said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Right? So, whoo, child. But some people reverse that when they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? So it's all the way you look at it. It's all in the way you look at it. Right? So, but they said the wise forgives but do not forget. So don't ever like feel like guilty because you can't forget something, because you shouldn't, especially with the severity of it. Some crimes are not forgettable, but like I said, like, you're forgiving because you need to free yourself, you need to free your soul. Okay, it don't have nothing to do with the other person, nothing to do with the other person. Okay, so when you're able to forgive and free your soul and free yourself, you can move on and move forward with your life. Okay, and you maybe can move forward with that person, because there's been situations where, like I said earlier, that I felt like I could never forgive. Like, I really had to soul search, and it was like eating away at me. Like, my peace was like really, really disrupted. Like, you know how I said when you get like all cried out, the crying, the sadness, and the feeling, for me, like, not feeling guilty, but feeling a sense of accountability or whatever, like saying, okay, how can I have prevented this from happening? Like blaming yourself, in a sense. Okay, but a lot of times you can't blame yourself for the actions of others. Okay, because people make choices. Okay, they could be a good choice or a bad choice. Okay, and sometimes it could directly affect you. Okay, and you might think that, oh wow, I should have you know did something different to prevent that action. Okay, but I had to learn the hard way that I'm not going to beat myself up for something somebody else did. Okay, because at the end of the day, they made a choice. So yeah. Whew, yeah. So this for me was like a really like touchy subject, touchy subject, because this is something that I have like really like struggled with for many years, because hurt is so real. Hurt is so real. So yeah, and you really have to be a strong person to forgive, forgive. You know, you really have to be a strong person to be able to forgive and move on. Yeah, but they said, like, what is the golden rule of forgiveness? They say it's a golden rule of forgiveness. So, according to the experts, they said that this means letting go of grudges and resentment, extending a hand of reconciliation, and seeking restoration in relationships. Wow. Wow. That really like hit home. That really hit home. It says letting go of grudges and resentment, extending a hand of reconciliation, and seeking restoration in relationships. Yes. Um, it's been times where, especially how they say, like, it could be the ones closest to you that can like really like hurt you. That can really, really hurt you. Okay. And it would depend on like the depths of the relationship, right? Um, Sometimes, people can do something that can really hurt you, can really, really hurt you, right? And you have to really like soul search and say, okay, the crime, is that something you can move on from? Are you willing to reconcile with this person based on your relationship with them, based on the offense? You know, um, I have forgiven so many people, um, really close to me that have done things that I didn't understand. Um, I felt that we had a better relationship than that, to where they would like do a certain thing, do that thing to me or whatever. And it's like if when you really, really like care about somebody and they genuinely have a place in your heart, it's like really hard not to forgive them and want to reconcile the relationship. Even though it's tough, even though it's tough. And it's like reconciling a relationship and moving forward, that person is not saying that you forget about it, okay? But you're willing to work on it again. You're willing to move forward with this person, okay? Because I had to come to that understanding, like in a lot of occasions, like nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. It's if they learn from the mistakes. Have they learned from the mistakes? Okay. Is the $1 million question. Okay. So sometimes somebody could do something to you one time. Okay. And your forgiveness can really turn things around for that person to say, wow, who I know I messed up. I know I messed up. Um, they forgave me. They're willing to move forward with it. This is not an offense I want to repeat again. Some people actually look at it like that way. So in cases like that, I feel like that you can like move forward and you can reconcile the relationship. It's like people can learn from their mistakes, and your willingness to forgive and reconcile can really make a difference and change something in that person. So yeah, so I definitely agree with that golden rule that you can restore a relationship um when somebody like hurts you. So yeah. Oh yeah. When I say this is like a real touchy subject, is very touchy to me because like in my years of wisdom, like your girl been through some stuff. She been through some stuff, and like for my mental and my peace, I literally had to forgive a lot of things that were done to me, ways I've been done wrong, especially with people that supposed to like really love and care about me and stuff. I really had to forgive. I really had to forgive. Um, but they say, what are the disadvantages of forgiveness? What are the disadvantages of forgiveness? Wow. So we go from what's the golden rule to what are the disadvantages of it. So they say, in particular, the tendency to express forgiveness may lead offenders to feel free to offend again by removing unwanted consequences for their behaviors. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was just basically what I was saying before, that some people can learn from it and some people may not learn from it. Like when you make that choice to forgive, um, that could go either way. That could really go either way. It can shift something in that person that did the offense to not want it to happen or come in between your relationship again, or it can awaken something to where are like, okay, they forgave me for this. I'm going to keep repeating it, keep pushing the envelope, okay? Because they forgave. That's when you become stupid, as they say. That's when you become stupid. If you know and you become naive when you're forgiving and forgetting all the time, okay? Because you're opening up that floodgates to have that repeated against you. All right. that means the person that's repeating the offense is not learning anything, because you have not set that boundary. You have not put something in place to let them know that's not acceptable. That's not okay. And me forgiving you the first time was not for you, it was for me. But don't think that that's okay to do that again and keep repeating it, okay? That's when you have to draw the line. That's when you stop it. That's when you let them know this is not okay. All right? So you can do it again, or you think it's okay, but it might not go the way that you want it to go the second time, okay? And that's me. Like, I'm very clear on that. Like, if someone did something that I felt was very unforgivable, I'll let them know, okay, we're going to move past this. We're going to move past this now. But don't think that you're going to be able to do that again and get my forgiveness, okay? Forgiveness for me is a real fine line. And that's something that I work very hard at. I work very hard at working on, like, my level of forgiveness, because even if I forgive you, even if I forgive you, does not mean that, it's been forgotten, and you better tread lightly with doing something else crazy like that for me to forgive. Okay? Tread real lightly, because forgive you once, forgive you twice may not happen. May not happen, right? So, yeah. Woo! When I say, like, this is really, really, really touchy subject for me, is very, very touchy. But it was just something that I felt like I needed to talk about. This was a topic that I felt a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people can relate to. Okay. Um, like, forgiveness is really not for the other person, it is for you. So when I say forgiveness is not for you, it's saying, like, when somebody forgives you, it's not for you. It's really not for you. Okay, it's really not for you. It's for the person that's choosing to forgive. The person that's choosing to forgive. Yeah. So they also say, so what is a toxic forgiveness? I gotta take a sip on that word. A toxic forgiveness. Mm. Woo! So I don't know if you ever heard of this, but once I explain it or break it down, you'll probably get it. Like, okay, all right, so that's what toxic forgiveness is. Okay, so a toxic forgiveness occurs when someone forgives another person superficially or prematurely, often without addressing the underlying hurt or allowing time for genuine healing. Woo! Toxic forgiveness. So when I think about that, I think about when you saw somebody, okay, all right, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. And you know dang on well that you not over it, that you still heated about it. Y'all really didn't clear the air on it. Like, the person didn't really apologize, or they didn't like settle your spirit in it. Okay, it happens so much. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate everybody who's here. Now you know good and well that you ain't forget about it, right? And you're not supposed to forget about it. But if you say you forgiving somebody, you forgive, okay? Even if it's just for you, you forgive. But don't go to, all right, I forgive you, right? And then you turn around and it's like, you know what, you did XYZ. See, that's why I don't forgive you. You can't be going back and forth with it. You can't be going back and forth with it. Either you forgive or you don't forgive. Okay, that's called toxic forgiveness. Okay, like you say, like, you superficially forgiving. Okay, like in the back of your mind, you like, I can't stand that SOS. Like, you got all this resentment behind you. It's like you really didn't forgive them. You really didn't forgive them, right? And you haven't set yourself free from it. So I know for me, If it's one of those situations where I know really can't move on from or move past, I'm not going to come out and say I forgive you. I'm not. I'm not, because my spirit and my soul is not settled. It's not settled. I don't think we cleared the air. You may have not apologized, and you're not going to always get an apology from somebody. Okay? You're not going to always get an apology from somebody. That's why they say forgiveness is not for you, it's for me. So you might have to let it go and move on, because sometimes people is just not going to apologize. And they're not going to see any wrong or any fault in something they have done. All right? But I'm not going to be that type that be like, okay, I forgive you. All right. So I'll be like, okay, I'm moving on from it. I might say something like that. I'm moving on from it. Okay. And now I know how to rock with you now. Now I know how to relate to you moving forward. Because now it's like that level of distrust is like heightened for me. It's like, okay, you didn't apologize. You didn't see nothing wrong with it. Okay. But I gotta move on for my sense of peace. Okay. And for my sanity. But is our relationship changed? Wherever that might be. It could be a cordial relationship. It might move to cordial to me not even acknowledge you, me not even speaking to you. Okay. I can be that way. I can. You know, but I'm not going to say I forgive, and that's a lot of what happens out here when people saying they're forgiving and they're moving forward, they're moving past it, and then they come back and try to get revenge and stuff like that. That's toxic forgiveness. That's really not forgiveness, especially when you're trying to retaliate or get revenge on somebody. Okay, after you said, did you forgive me? So don't ever tell somebody you forgive them and you really have not, and you're still holding that grudge or that resentment. So yeah, um, it's a real thing. Toxic forgiveness is a real thing, and it happens so many ways, different times, when, you in a circle. Like I think about like how, say you have a group of friends, okay, and that one friend went sideways, they was out of pocket, they did something that, you couldn't believe that they did it, right? Couldn't believe that they did it. But you still mix and mingle with this person because y'all have a group, group setting, or y'all have like friends in common, or y'all it could even be somebody in your family, and you still gotta see this person or deal with this person, because of the commonalities involved of it. So you're like, okay, you know what? All right, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just going to forgive it, and just keep going. And then every time you see that person, this heightened sense come up, and it's like, wow, there go that SOB right there. Like, ooh, I can't stand them, man. Or that situation where it's something happening or gathering, and then you like, is so and so gonna be there? I ain't going. Okay, like you really letting them like control your life. You really like, not having a peace because you really, really didn't forgive them. So it's like you're like trying to avoid it, or really trying to avoid that personal situation. So like, don't let nobody disrupt your peace, because they, like, at the end of the day, they're going to keep living their life. It's a lot of situations where people are not affected by their actions. They don't care, and you're holding on to it. Okay, like it's ways to avoid them. You don't got to deal with them. You can avoid them. You can remove yourself from a situation, but don't let them steal your peace. Don't let them steal your peace. Because that's considered like toxic forgiveness. If you're still having feelings of retaliation or resentment against that person, you really have not forgiven. And they said, so what do you call a person who never forgives? What do you call a person who never forgives? Wow. So they have words for people that never forgive. Never forgive. They call you unkind, and they call you unsympathetic. Woo! That's some tough words right there. Unkind and unsympathetic. And I feel like it's hard to be that person. Like in a lot of cases, some people can be, unforgiving, unkind, and unsympathetic to situations. But you have to think about it. like the reasoning behind why you are not forgiving people, because put yourself in their shoes, put yourself in a situation to where you may have done something. Wouldn't you want somebody to forgive you if you really have a heart or soul to care about what people think and how they feel? Wouldn't you want to be forgiven for something? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. There's no such thing as a perfect person. No such thing as a perfect person. And it took me years and years and years to really ground that within my spirit, to say, like, although I'm disappointed, although I expected better from you, although I might have felt blindsided by something that you did, right? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So who am I to play judge and jury? Okay, you know, it could be a situation where I may need forgiveness. I may need forgiveness. Okay, do I want somebody to constantly keep holding something over my head and not forgiving? For my mistake, or for my transgressions or something. Everybody deserves a chance to be forgiven. Now, if they commit it again, then you can, like, really hold your ground and say, oh, all right, I forgave once, but I can't forgive twice. And there's some people that really get a lot of grace. They get a lot of forgiveness and a lot of grace. And, it's from the person that really chooses to forgive. But again, the flip side and the disadvantage of that is open up the doors for them to keep repeating it. So you have to be real, real careful with that forgiveness aspect. Although forgiveness is for you, not for them, but don't open that floodgates to keep repeated offenses. That's one thing you really have to be careful about. Okay, but to never forgive anybody, mm, that's not going to go well, because it's going to be something that you may do, or you can actually, like, hurt or upset somebody, and you might want that forgiveness. So moving through life not ever being able to forgive is not a good way to move, right? And they, like they said, they consider you being unkind and unsympathetic if you have never forgiven, or you choose to never forgive anybody. You're the best you ever. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you for coming in. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, so then they said, what does unforgiveness do to you spiritually? So I'm a spiritual person. Okay. Like I said, for each his own. Um, but I do have a lot of faith. Okay. And I think about it. How do you say, like, God can forgive, then why can't you? All right. So I think about that. And they said, um, which says, if you have what does it do to you spiritually for being unforgiving? It said it makes you a prisoner of your past. Makes you a prisoner of your past. It gives you the all-pervasive disease of bitterness. It opens the door for Satan, and it alienates you from the full rich fellowship that God desires to have with you. Let's put a pin in that. A pin in that. Woo! That part. Let me just restate that. It makes you a prisoner of your past. It gives you the all pervasive disease of bitterness. Woo! When I say that one struck a nerve, that one struck a nerve with me. Man, woo! I think about so many instances of things done in my past, and I've had to walk away. I've had to walk away. I've had to let it go. I've had to let it go. I've had to move on from it, because I didn't want to be stuck. I didn't want to be stuck, always reliving it, reliving it. Um, it comes that time when you've been through certain things, And if you keep living in it, you can't move forward. You can't move forward. So I've had to let go so I can move forward, so I wouldn't be a prisoner of my past and not have that disease of bitterness, because it will eat away at you. You will get all kinds of sicknesses. It will really eat away at you, really eat away at you. And fast forward to things that happened in my past, I've had to look and see the offender. Okay. Done things unspeakable. Done things unspeakable. But so I wouldn't be a prisoner of my past, I had to let it go. I had to let it go. I had to forgive. I had to think about nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. But I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to forgive it. But I can forgive because it frees me. It frees my soul. It frees my soul. Okay? And once I came to that realization that I need to be free, I need to stop living in it, things just opened up. Things opened up. Like I feel like the heavens like was shining upon me. I felt like that I was able to flourish. I felt like um you know that God had a bigger plan, and I say like I got through things. I got through things and things that I didn't think I would get through. And I always say I wasn't supposed to be here because it was so many times that I felt like um Satan tried to take me out. Like he used others to try to take me out. Okay. But it's like God had a bigger plan. He had a bigger plan. So it's like, so why should I not forgive? Because God spared me. He got me through it. He got me through it. Okay. And I'm here and I'm a living witness and I have a testimony because of things that he got me through. He really got me through. So yeah, when you decide not to be a prisoner of your past, it frees your soul. It really frees your soul. It definitely frees your soul. And I know I've literally just watched a story um the other day about a young lady that had this horrific experience about something that was done to her and somebody she really loved. And she suffered as a prisoner for like 30 years of her life, couldn't let it go, kept reliving it, running from the demons, afraid to like move forward with her life because of it. And she finally got her moment, fast forward 30 years, to set herself free. And I felt so bad like for this woman. It's like you really lived your life stuck in that past and present life for something that happened to you. You never set yourself free, you know? And it took you 30 years to finally set yourself free. It's like I don't ever want to live like that. That somebody has such a hold or chokehold on me that I can't move forward or live my life based on something that they did or their actions. So yeah. So when I say that definitely touches home for me, it definitely touches home for me. Um, they said that there's a quote by Einstein that actually says something about forgiveness. Um, he says that weak people get revenge, strong people forgive, and intelligent people ignore. Woo! Wow. Weak people get revenge, strong people forgive, and intelligent people ignore. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Woo! God, I gotta sit in that one for a minute. I have to sit in that one for a minute. Do you know how many times um in moments of weakness I'm like, oh my God, like I'm just gonna pay them back. I'm gonna get revenge. But then something shifts and it's like, you know what? Is a such thing as karma. Karma is real. Okay. I've seen it. I've seen it happen, and I always say that I'm a child of God. He loves me. He sees all things. He sees all things. So what you've done to me has already been done to you double fold, double fold. I've seen it happen. I mean, it's how you know how you say you don't wish things on your worst enemy, but it's like when you have done something wrong, you've committed a sin, something that God is not pleased with, it's going to come back to you. It is going to come back to you. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with people that have done me so wrong, things that they should not have been forgiven for. And they've got it back times, three times. Like literally lost their life behind it. Nearly lost their life because they did something so unthinkable. So when they say strong people forgive, I felt like I was the strong person to forgive. Like I let go. I let God. He took care of it. He took care of it. He seen it. He knew it wasn't right. I was willing to forgive and move on from it. But he took care of it. He did. Karma is real. Karma is real. If you don't believe nothing else I say on this live, believe that karma is real. Karma is real. So if you are strong enough to forgive and move on, um, that person is not getting away with that crime. They're not. Something is going to happen or shift in their life that they're going to reap what they sow. They're going to really reap what they sow. So, and I think the first time I seen it happen to somebody that was in my life that did me so wrong that I was so hurt and so broken from it. But it's like it came back to them. It came back to them. And I was like, whoa, wow. I didn't need to do anything. I didn't need to get revenge. I didn't need to go after this person. I didn't need to hold that resentment or that bitterness. But you are really suffering because of what you did. Because of what you did. Right? And it that opened up their spirit for me to continue to forgive because God takes care of everything. He sees all, he knows all. And karma definitely comes back around. So yeah. And then they say intelligent people ignore. And sometimes you have to ignore ignorance. You do. You have to ignore people's behavior. And sometimes silence could say more than actually speaking. I had to learn that not saying a word says a lot, speaks volume. Silence can hurt more than anything. So I'll rather somebody talk to me and tell me what's wrong or why they're upset than to say silence. Silence says so much. Silence says so much. You know, it speaks louder than anything. So how they say intelligent people ignore, just shutting it down, not saying anything. Can say a lot. Can really say a lot. And I have embraced that mindset to, you know, let somebody know that I am displeased with something. I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to let my silence speak for it, for me, speak for what you did. You know what you done. You know what you may have said. Me not speaking on it, sitting silently, stepping back, says a lot. Says a lot. Silence says everything. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Forgiveness is not for you. It is for me. It is for me. Yes, yes, yes. Woo. Yes, yes, yes. So now you know how you you hear like you have like a lot of influential people. Okay. So I talked about a quote from Einstein about, you know, weak people get revenge, strong people forgive, and intelligent people ignore. But it's a famous um quote that I always thought about and like resonated. And it was by the great late Martin Luther King Jr. Um, when he says forgiveness is not an occasional act. It's a permanent attitude. Not an occasional act. It is a permanent attitude. Yes, 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 yes. That goes back to when I talk about being able to forgive, being able to forgive but not forget. It's a permanent attitude. It's a permanent attitude. Once you take on that mindset that you're going to forgive, it's not one of those, them flaky moments. If that's a better word of putting it, it's not one of those toxic forgiveness where you say, okay, I'm gonna forgive you this time, but you better not do, like being real shady or moving shaky about it. Moving shaky about it. So you gotta be real careful about it. Being real careful about it. Like you can't be forgiving in one instance, but then turn around, try to be spiteful or revengeful about it. Okay, that's not a permanent attitude of forgiveness. Okay, that's one of those shady attitudes of being forgiving and stuff. Yeah, but like they said, Martin Luther King Jr. said that forgiveness is not an occasional act. Like you can't do it occasionally that, oh, I'm gonna forgive sometime, or I'm gonna forgive this person, but I ain't gonna forgive that person. Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's not gonna work well. Not gonna work well. He says a permanent attitude. They said mistakes are always forgivable. And they are. And they are. I agree. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And it took a lot of growth within me to understand and see that, because like I would get that frame of mind, be like, how could you? How could you? Like that was unforgivable, that was unspeakable. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, I didn't deserve that. Like, it's all those like, why? Why did you do that? Like all these questions going in my head. And then I had to really stop and say, huh, yeah, what they did was messed up. It was jacked up. And it's gonna take you a minute to move on from it. Okay, it's gonna take you a minute. But everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And they say mistakes are always forgivable. I've had to forgive a lot of mistakes that people have made in my life. Okay, mistakes that really, really hurt, like really hurt to the pit of my soul, deep down, like to where it was like, oh my God, like how can I move forward? How can I move past it? Like I thought it was times that I wasn't gonna be able to move past it. Really thought I wasn't gonna be able to move forward with it. And and it's like that voice saying, okay, they made a mistake. They made a mistake. And it helps. Hello, hello, thank you for coming in. And it helps if that person is willing to acknowledge that mistake. That person is willing to acknowledge that mistake. That really helps with the healing part of it. It really helps with the healing. So yeah, like I've had something like not too long ago where like it really took the wind out of my sails. It really took the wind out of my sails, and I was just like, God, like I need you to help because I don't know how I can move forward. I can't. Like it really like cut something deep within me. It really cut something deep within me. And I just had to release. I just had to like cry it out. I had to like speak on it. Like speak on what hurt. Why is it hurting? Like I had to just when I had those moments that I needed to release it, I released it. I had to. Like that was the only way I was going to heal. And I had to talk to this person and say, I just need you to understand that it's going to take me a while to heal from this. I was like, you really, really hurt. You really, really hurt me. And I didn't understand it. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. So I need time. I need time. I need you to give me time. I need you to give me time. And they were willing to give me time. And it helped me to be able to move forward with the forgiveness because they said, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I know I messed up. I made a mistake. Those words rang louder than a bell for me because it's like, okay, that's what I needed to help me move on. That's what I needed. I needed you to understand how you hurt me and acknowledge that you made a mistake that you want forgiveness for and that you will not let happen again. A mistake that you learn from so we can move forward. So we can move forward. Okay? So, yeah, permanent attitude. Permanent attitude. Yeah. Hello, later, Perry. Okay, check it. Hello, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Yes. So it's like those times like you don't forget about it, you don't forget about it, but you've chosen to forgive and move past it. Okay. And for me, certain offenses is like if I can move forward with it and not hold on to it, that's big. I feel like I released it. I released it. But it's just if it happens again after I have that release and I've let go and I've moved on with it, it's like for me it wouldn't be no coming back. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. It's like, and that's something that I'm learning to grow in because like I said, I can forgive once, but if you repeat it again, my forgiveness doesn't go that far, and that's something that I'm really, really working on with me. And it's saying, and you shouldn't have to feel pressure to forgive someone that has repeated something against you. You shouldn't feel pressure to. It's well within your right not to forgive because sometimes opening that door for forgiveness can lead to repeated offenses. So that's something I just want to restate. We're talking about forgiveness, but don't let nobody keep repeating the same offense and you keep forgiving it. Okay? And you keep forgiving it. Because then that makes you naive and that just makes you stupid, as the experts say. Okay? You have to have a fine line with it. Everybody makes mistakes and they are worthy to be forgiven. But if that keeps opening up the floodgates for them to keep repeating it, that's when you have to cut it off. You have to cut it off. Okay? For your peace. Okay? So yeah. So I thought that was really, really really deep with that. How they say mistakes are always forgivable. But it says you have to have the courage to admit them. Okay, so that goes to what I just said. I had something unspeakable happen, and they had the courage to admit that they made a mistake, and it just opened up something within me that said, that's what I needed. That's what I needed to help me move on. That's what I needed to help me move on. That you admitted that you made a mistake. That you admitted that you made that mistake. Yep. But they said if you cannot forgive and forget, pick one. Pick one. Hey, Gio, thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Yes, they said if you can't forgive and forget, pick one. Yes, 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 sure. I totally agree. I totally agree. Wow, that was a deep statement for me. So, like forgiving and forgetting, either you're gonna forget about it and move on, or you're gonna forgive and move on. You can't do both. Yes, yes, yes. So they said that there there are actually 5 R's of forgiveness. 5 R's of forgiveness. They said repentance is forgiveness. Redemption is forgiveness. Restitution is forgiveness. Reconciliation is forgiveness. And restoration is forgiveness. Wow. Wowie, wowie, wowie. So I'm a hone in on those reconciliation and the restoration. Yes. Because forgiveness is so huge. And like it's different levels to it. It's different levels to it. Like you can forgive somebody and say, okay, I forgive, but I'm gonna keep moving forward. Our relationship is forever broken, but I forgive you for my moment of peace. And then there's that level of forgiveness where you say, I forgive and I'm willing to move forward with you. I'm willing to restore. I'm willing to reconcile a relationship. Because it could be that person that really, has an impact on your heart and your soul. And you don't want that relationship to end or be dissolved because they made a mistake or because they done something that hurt you. So you may be willing to, restore it and reconcile with that person. You know, I've had those tough moments. I've really had those tough moments. I'll come to this chat and spread your love. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. I mean, it gets really, really tough, especially when someone is so dear to you that does something to really, really hurt you, really, really hurt you. So that spirit to want to reconcile and restore, you know, comes from a different level of forgiveness. Definitely comes from a different level of forgiveness. Like I just talked about, really having to forgive something that happened to me, and because this person really was near and dear to my heart, and I had to forgive and restore the relationship. But it's not easy. But it said so you should be able to, like it says, set yourself free. Like it said, can forgiveness set you free? I feel like can. I feel it can. I've been set free in so many different um areas in my life because I forgave, and the situation didn't have a chokehold on me. It didn't have a chokehold on me. And I felt free from it because I was able to release it and let it go. But it says set yourself free from the mental torture of the playback and the thoughts that repeat a story that offends your boundaries. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of PTSD. PTSD is so real. It is so real. Um, Years and years ago, I had like something really unspeakable happen to me from someone that was supposed to really love and care about me, but they done something unspeakable. And um I would have these moments of like anxiety and get overwhelmed, and my body would literally shut down and I didn't understand what was happening to me. I've never had that experience before. Um so it led me to like go to a doctor, like what is happening to me? Like this terrible thing happened to me, but every time I think about it or I go to that moment or go to that location to where everything happened or took place, my body literally shuts down, literally shuts down. And they said, well, you're suffering from PTSD. You're so traumatized by what happened to you, and it happened at the hands of someone that's supposed to love you, and they hurt you in that way. So now every time you have a thought or you go to that location, or you keep revisiting it in your mind and you're having that playback, you're suffering from that post-traumatic stress. And I've never ever heard of it until I actually went through it. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And it took a chokehold over me. It took a chokehold over me. Like I couldn't even be in that same room. Like when I say it's overwhelming. Like it's hard to even explain it. It was like I can't even be in there because just the presence of it alone was just like it had like a grip on me. It had like a grip on me and stuff. And it took a long time for me to over that, get through it. Understand playback, girl. I know what. Yes, it's the playback, right? Like reliving it. Like I couldn't even talk about it. Like I had to like share it with a few people, but every time I talked about it and relived the moment, I would just like break down in tears, because it was like it was happening all over again. And I just had to pray for deliverance to God, please, please let me get through this. Let me get through this. Like this is really, it's really like controlling my life. It really like had a grip and a hold on me. It had a grip and a hold on me, right? And it took. I would say it maybe took a year before I could even talk about it. But with each year it got easier. Each year it got easier. Now I could talk about it today, not shed one tear, because God put me through it. He put me through it. He got me over that hurdle, that hump, you know, and like I could look at that person and honestly like talk to them and be civil towards them, not hold hatred to them, because now that I've healed from it, I understand. I said, you had your demons. You had your demons. Okay. Your spirit wasn't right. You were struggling with a lot. So how can you really love somebody, treat them with kindness and respect, like be like protective of them if you never felt protected in your life? That saying, how they say like your experiences and things that happen to you can carry over into your life and you can do it to someone else. So it took a lot of growth in years moving forward to think, they were a product of their environment. They knew no other way. That's how they handled situations. That was how they got through it. you know, they never had things resolved in their past. So it carried forward to where, they wanted to hurt others because they were always hurt. They were always hurt. So once I came to that realization that I have to forgive them to release that chokehold, you know, it set me free. And you know how I talk about karma? This same individual, they did a lot. They did a lot of suffering. Karma came to them because I say I'm a child of God. He sees all. He knows all. So he knew what was happening was not right. It was not fair, and I didn't deserve it. So moving forward, years and years forward, this person actually suffered and went through a lot of grief. Because it came back to it kept caught up with them. It came back. It literally caught up with them. Okay. So, forgiving is not for them, it is for you. So you can move forward. But just understand that karma is real. Karma is real. So people can do you wrong and things can literally come back triple fold. Okay. It can really come back triple fold. So I'm a living witness to say, like, sometimes releasing and letting go and letting God um definitely helps you in the long run. Definitely helps you in the long run. Yeah. Don't have that playback. That playback, I know it's tough, the torture, the playback, but praying for that release and letting go can really help you get through that. Can really help you get through that. Um, and they said, what are two things that forgiveness is not? Two things that forgiveness is not. They said it's not bargained for and it's not paid for. Let me say that again. It is not bargained for. It is not paid for. That's where forgiveness is not. So nobody should be bargaining for your forgiveness, and nobody should be paying for it. They said it's not based on some promise that you'll never do it again. So if you say to someone, "I'll forgive you if dot 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 dot," wow. So it's stipulations to that forgiveness. No, 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 no. That's not forgiveness. That is not forgiveness. Okay. So you can't bargain it and they can't pay for it. Either you're gonna forgive or you're not. Okay? Like they said, you can't forgive and forget, pick one. Pick one. But don't say I'll forgive you if. Alright? That's not a good look. That's not cool. That's not cool. Okay? Because that can always falter because now it's a like a tit for tat. Alright, well, you do this, then I'll forgive you. What? Either you're gonna forgive or you're not gonna forgive. Which one is it? That tit for tat thing is not gonna work. That's not real forgiveness. That's not real forgiveness. And they said, like, what is the hardest part of forgiveness? The bitterness and the resentment. Agree. Agree. The bitterness and the resentment could be the hardest part of forgiveness. I've been guilty of holding that bitterness. I've been guilty of holding that resentment. But once I release and let go and let God, it's like, whew, like that spirit is just opened up. It's just opened up. It's like it takes that burden off of your heart. It takes that burden off of your heart. Like it really eats away at you when you're like bitter and resentful. It really does. It really does. Like when you constantly focus on, you know, the crime and the offense and things like that, it's like, wow, all right, I can't move forward. It got a hold on me. It got a hold on me. Letting it go, letting it go. It says holding on to bitterness and resentment can become a habit and make it difficult to forgive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Woo! Yeah. If you're always holding on to it, it's making it hard to forget. It's making it hard to forget. Yeah, like you said, let it go. Let it go. They said these negative emotions can become a part of our identity, and letting go of them can be challenging, of course. But fear, like the fear of forgiving someone, can bring up fear of being hurt again. That part, that part, that part, that part. That's tough. That's a tough one, especially with somebody that's really close to you, somebody really, really close to you. That fear, that fear. If I forgive them, if I forgive them, will they hurt me again? Will they hurt me again? Woo! When I say that one stings like a knife for me, because I've been in situations where I've had to forgive a loved one. I've had to, for my sanity, for my peace. But does that fear overcome me sometimes? Like, will they hurt me again? Absolutely. I will be lying to myself if I say that fear does not, like, go to the back of my mind sometime. Like, will they hurt me again? That is real. That is real. That is real. Those thoughts randomly cross my mind. Will they hurt me again? Especially when you start having that spirit of doubt. It's like, okay, I've forgiven, I've moved on, but like, do I trust again? Do I fully like accept that, they've learned from the mistake? Okay, like they're really like can play with you, really can play with your mind, really can play with your mind, and then it can take that one little thing that can re-trigger those emotions of what you went through and what you have forgiven and moved on from, and it's like, okay, here we go again, here we go again, here we go again. All right, do I trust? Do I not relive the past? Do I not have a playback moment? Do I trust that this person has learned from their mistake? Okay, you know, am I valid in forgiving? Okay, like, do I go back to the moments that hurt me? Like all these things can be replaying and be replaying, like that fear, right? That's why I said that's like the hardest part of forgiveness. It really is. Like, wow, like the fear of it. It's like it hits home for me. It really hits home for me. But sometimes you have to like trust in the process. Sometimes you have to trust in the process, and say that things are moving forward. Things are going to be better, and trust that it's not going to happen. That a person is not going to hurt you again. Which is hard. It's really hard. It's really hard because we're human. We're human. And we do have valid feelings, right? And they said, does forgiveness let go of the hurt? Let go of the hurt. Whew. Hi, Mr. Pastor. Our topic is forgiveness is not for you. Forgiveness is not for you. That is our topic today. But they say, does forgiveness let go of the hurt? Does forgiveness let go of the hurt? Forgiveness means different things to different people. But in general, It involves an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. An intentional decision. That part. An intentional decision. Whew. I feel like when I became intentional about letting go, that's when my soul and my spirit became free. I had to. I had to let it go. I had to let it go because that chokehold is real. That chokehold is real. And you can't move forward if you're holding on. You can't. You can't. And it eats away at your soul. You know, I felt myself like in a dark place. Like I felt like I had no soul. Like the soul was ripped out of me. Like literally. Like I felt hopeless. Like I felt like I couldn't go from day to day. Like when I say holding on to that, like really like eats away at you. It really eats away at you. And sometimes you have to let it go. You have to let it go for your sanity. And I can't restamp enough that forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. It is for you. It is for you. You know? So let go of that chokehold. They said the act that hurt or offended you might always be with you. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I can remember every time that I was hurt or somebody that done something to me. I can remember every time, but I made that intentional decision to let it go and move forward. I made that intentional decision, you know, so I can release that chokehold off of me. Yeah, yeah. They said, but working on forgiveness could lessen the ex grip on you. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Can release, take that chokehold, take that grip off of your heart, off of your soul. Absolutely. And it's not easy by no way, shape, or form. It's not easy. I am living witness that I've been through some things. I have been through so many things. And most of my hurt came from people that I really, really trusted, people that I really loved. Okay. That's where a lot of my hurt came from. And I've had to forgive. I've had to. I've had to. For my sanity, for my peace. I've had to. Yeah. And they said, like, when should you not forgive someone? They said it's a reason why it's not okay to forgive someone. They said you should not let someone back into your life who has consistently demonstrated a pattern of abuse. That part. That part. You keep forgiving somebody and you're moving forward and they keep coming back, repeating the same offense, whether it's being mentally abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive, they keep repeating it, repeating it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You're well within your right not to forgive anymore. Not to forgive. You can forgive your spirit and your soul so you can move forward, but get forgiveness for them. Mm-mm. Because how I said in the beginning of this, like forgiveness can go either way. The person can learn from it. You can reconcile. Okay, you can restore, or they cannot. It just opens up the door for them to continue to repeat the same offenses. Okay, and in those cases, it's okay not to forgive and move forward with this person if they repeat it over and over again. It said, do not feel pressure to do something that you don't want to do. That part. Don't feel pressure. Don't feel pressure. Like like be mindful that this person is hurting you. This person is hurting you. This person is doing something that they have not learned from. They continue to do it. They're repeating the offense. And it's okay to walk away and not um be involved with this person or shut that person out of your life. You have to. I've had to shut people out of my life. I've had to shut people out. I had to because when I started seeing a pattern, I started seeing a pattern. Okay, like I consider myself a very forgiving person, especially for people that I care about. But if you start repeating a pattern, okay, then I get that wake up moment. It's like, okay, I noticed this happened, but I forgave. I forgot. I didn't. I not necessarily forgot about it, but I forgotten enough that I could move past it. Then you turn around and you do it again. It's like, okay. Now, like my senses are woke now. Like, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. I remember when. I remember when. Like, now I'm seeing this pattern happen because now you're doing the same thing that I moved past before, but you're doing it in a subtle way, but but you're still doing it. It's like that's when I have to shut it down. It's like, okay, cool. I see where it's going. I see how you rock it. I see how you move it. It's like, I don't wish no ill feelings to you. I don't wish no ill feelings to you. But our dynamics, our relationship is changed now because I see a pattern that I don't like. I'm not a big fan of this pattern. So I have to release and remove myself from the situation. I have to for my sanity and my peace. So yes, it's a lot of ways that you should not be forgiving, but you can definitely move on and let it go, and just not have any more interactions with this person for your moment of peace. And they said how do you deal with someone who never forgives? It says just let it go. Like if you have thoroughly evaluated your apology, like if you apologize to somebody and you feel that it was adequate, you gave it enough time to digest it, and you try again, but they still won't forgive you, like then it's time to walk away and let it go, right? Facts, 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 facts. That goes to like that toxic forgiveness. Like if you're not willing to accept the apology and you don't think it was adequate enough, or you don't feel like you had a lot of time to digest the apology and things like that, like they have every right to let it go or leave it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that way too. Like if I've done something and I apologize to someone, and I felt that it was, adequate apology and they still don't want to let it go. And some people will just hold on to stuff. Some people will really just hold on to it. Okay. And be like, you know what? I don't care. You apologize all you want. I don't forgive you. Like I still don't like you. I'm still not gonna talk to you and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, fine, fine. I made my peace. Okay, you know, like I'm if I can forgive somebody, like I should be willing to be forgiven as well. Like I said, everybody can make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, right? So, and they said how do you know um if you haven't forgiven someone, right? If how do you know if you haven't forgiven someone? They said like if you're struggling with the unforgiveness, right? And I struggled with that a long time, a long time. But I felt like now I've forgiven everybody who's like really really hurt me and done me wrong. I've have forgiven. If it's somebody that was just like an acquaintance and they done something that I thought was really like foul, it's like okay, I don't ever have to deal with you. I don't have to speak to you ever again, okay? Because you were wrong. You really didn't have no significance in my life. So if we don't ever cross paths again, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But they say, but you may experience bursts of anger if you really haven't forgiven someone. Oh, if you really haven't forgiven someone, you'll experience burst of anger, and that's real. That's real talk. That's real talk. Yeah, you ever seen people that really have those strong emotions and strong feelings with something that happened, and they just get like super angry, and they just like want to fight the world, hurt the world, because they can't let it go. It happens. Like it's some situations where you might can't. Like it's forgiveness is hard. It is, especially if the crime is unforgivable, like you feel in your eyes is unforgivable. That's why I be commending like people, say like lose a loved one, like somebody like took a loved one from you, or and you're big enough to say, you know what, I forgive you, because at the end of the day it's not for that person, it's for you. It's to set your soul free. It's to really set your soul free. But when I hear people say that I forgive you, like it's like for me, it's like that. Wow, they got that awakened moment that they're not forgiving them for that person. It's not. They're not saying that they forgot about what they done, but it's for their peace. It's for their peace, right? So they said like when you become petty and impulsive, that goes back to that toxic forgiveness. You're getting petty about every little thing. You really ain't forgive. Like you really like being shady and stuff. They said if you feel the need to make that person understand your pain, yeah, and like you engage in that compulsive behavior, like it happens. It definitely happens when people they really can't forgive, and it's like I want to make you suffer. I really want to make you suffer. Like they want to cause you pain. They want you to feel the pain that they felt. And I just had this whole moment when I think about um the song when they said she said I bust the windows out your car. She said I felt pain, so I needed you to feel it. Right. So yeah. So that's real. That's real. Like somebody hurt you, you like, okay, I want you to feel the pain that I'm going through. Like that's a natural instinct. That is a natural instinct. Like you need to feel it too. You need to feel it too. Like that's real talk. That's real talk. But that's how you know you really haven't forgiven somebody when you're like, I'm gonna bust the windows out the car. I'm gonna slice your tires. I'm gonna drop you inside the head. Like you really ain't forgiving that person. Like I need you to feel this, feel what I'm going through. And I'm like, I can't even hold you. Like it's been times in my past where like I've been so upset and so angry from the pain that was caused me. That's like I need you to feel that. I need you to feel that, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, they said like if you are unable to reframe your experiences and blame others for your feelings, that you have really not forgiven. Yep. And they said like, so but what is the root cause of it? Like unforgiveness is usually a result of ungodly pride and self-righteousness. Unforgiveness is often the sin that's committed against those that were closest and dearest to us. That part that part is really tough when somebody really close and dear to you like hurt you or cause you some kind of pain. It's really really hard. But I think it's more the hurt for me, but it makes it easier to want to reconcile and try to restore it. Like if it's somebody that's really, really dear and close to my heart, you know. Um, Sometimes that might not get the apology. I mean, I get the apology. It's a must if you want you to move on. It's not for the people that hurt you. It's for you. Yes, yes. It's crazy. Yes. So yeah, sometimes you have to move on. Sometimes you have to move on. Yes. Um, Yeah, they said, but people that's dearest to you, like it's like those sayings where it says familiarity breeds contempt. People that are close to you, people that are very familiar with you, and it says, why do we always hurt the one we love? Why do we always hurt someone we love? That's the $1 million question. Why do we always hurt the ones that we love? That's a good question, but it happens so much, and I think that's the times that you're mostly affected by it because it's somebody that's really close to you that's supposed to love you, and the person that you love that really hurt you. But they said, but um, unforgiveness can really block your blessings, and that goes to what I was saying about not being able to release and let go. It can definitely block your blessings. And they said so spiritually, unforgiveness can create a barrier between the individual and God. Like if you not willing to forgive as God has forgiven you, then you definitely blocking blessings. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that. And when my spirit and my soul became free when I forgave. When I forgave, like you really can block your blessings. It said it can hinder one's spiritual growth and block the flow of God's forgiveness and blessings. So, like you said, if you want for God to forgive you, for things, then you got to be willing to forgive others. So that's true. That's true facts. Like you can definitely block your best blessings. And they said that like there's other things that you can say instead of I forgive you, right? Like they said some things you can say are like, okay, I condone it. Mm, do you really know? I condone it. Huh? Or I excuse it, or I pardon it. Um, I know I've used the word excuse. Like I'm just going to excuse that. I'm going to excuse that. Okay. Like I've used that in terminology instead of saying I forgive you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you a pass. I'm gonna give you a pass, something like that. But instead of coming out saying I forgive it, because I may not have that spirit of forgiveness for what might occur. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you an excuse. You got an excuse. I'm gonna excuse that, or I'm gonna give you a pass on that, or something like that. But yeah, but those are other ways to say I forgive you. Um, and they said that, like, what are the three types of forgiveness? They said forgiveness actually embodies three different things, each which applies different situations and provides different results. So, three types of forgiveness can be exoneration, okay, like setting free; forbearance, okay, I can see that one too; and release. They said those are really like the three types of forgiveness. I think the release one is big for me. Releasing it, and let it go. That's a really big one. So that's one I can really resonate with, is releasing it. And sometimes you have to release it. Um, and they said, like, five things that forgiveness is not. I talked about some things that forgiveness is not, but they said forgiveness is not pretending that we're not hurt. It's not that. So, like, don't ever think because you forget somebody that is saying that you're not hurt, because that's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. I have forgiven people, and it has not. It's like, just because I forgive you doesn't mean I'm not hurt about it. Does not mean I'm not hurt about it. Right. So, yep, child. Mm-mm-mm. And it says forgiveness is not letting someone off the hook. Forgiveness is not letting someone off the hook. Absolutely not letting them off the hook. Like, I might forgive you, but that's not meaning that I forgive. That I'm gonna forget about it. It's not letting you off the hook. It's that forgiveness is not making an excuse for someone. Absolutely not. Because you forgive them don't mean you're gonna make an excuse for them. Nope. It's not making an excuse for them. Like I said, again, forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person. That's why I say forgiveness is not for you, it's for me, right? It is for me. So it's not making an excuse for someone. It said, and forgiveness is not forgetting, right? Forgiveness is not forgetting, absolutely not. You can forgive and never forget, never forget. And forgiveness is not necessarily trust or reconciliation. That part, that part. Yeah, because I forgive you don't mean that I fully trust. Fully trust. Exactly. That part. That part. You don't necessarily need to trust them. You don't necessarily need to reconcile with them. Okay? It's not what forgiveness is. That's not what it's about. You don't necessarily need to do that. So I totally agree. Um, I say often the hardest person to forgive is yourself. And I agree. I agree. It says sometimes you can be so hurt and realize that you're the one to blame for it, right? But and you're the one that might have did it to yourself and want to make yourself hurt. But, like, I know I took a lot of blame for certain situations. Like I said, dang, like, if I'd have did something different, maybe I would have prevented their actions, or blame myself. I did a lot of blame game, thinking about the what ifs and stuff like that. But yeah, you can be harder on yourself. You be harder on yourself. And I went through those moments. I've definitely gone through those moments where I've been harder on myself, and not willing to forgive. So yeah. Um, but they said, what is the highest form of forgiveness? They said to realize that the person committed a mistake out of ignorance. That part. Yes. And having a sense of compassion for them. Yes. Yes. Like I said, people do stuff out of ignorance. People really do stuff out of ignorance, you know, um, not seeing that it's a mistake, or just oblivious to what they're doing. So, and I said you have to have a sense of compassion. I definitely had to do that. Have a lot of compassionate moments. Definitely had to have compassionate moments and say, you know what, they made a mistake. They was ignorant. They sometimes people don't understand what they're doing while they're in the middle of doing it and stuff. So forgiving others with a sense of compassion is the best form of forgiveness. So how they say the highest form of forgiveness is forgiving others with a sense of compassion. Yes, absolutely. Reach down and tap into that. Reach down and tap into it and say, I'm going to be compassionate because sometimes you could be ignorant in what you're doing. Okay. So yes. Woo! Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. And they said that forgiveness comes in 4 stages. And when I read the stages too, you might say, "Yep, I can see that. I can see that." So they said one stage is hate. Yeah. Let me take a sip on that one. One stage is hate. When you can really hate the person for what they done. The next stage is hurt. Really can be hurt by it. Yes. Whew. Been there. So many different instances been hurt by what somebody done to me. Um, then they say you can heal from it. Man, when I say this speaks to my soul right now, I've definitely had to heal from a lot of situations and then come together with this person or people. Those are the 4 stages. Those are 4 stages. The hate, the hurt, the heal, and the coming together. Yep. Definitely touches home. Definitely touches home. And it said that can you forgive and still be angry? Yes, you can. It said, but it depends. Like if you're angry and you want retribution, you likely haven't sincerely forgiven the other person, which is true. This is true. If you want retribution for it, you really haven't forgiven them. But if you're angry and you're working towards moving past it, you're probably just experiencing the normal flow of emotion. That part. Put a pin in that. Ah, I have been angry. I have been angry, angry, angry. Like, had to do that exhale, but I've had to work towards moving past it. Oh my God, I've had to work towards moving past it and let the emotions flow, go through the process, grieve, cry, have those woes me moments. But for me, it was the movement towards, you know, the forgiveness part for me, moving forward, more forward to the forgiveness part. Yes, this really, really, really touches home. And they said like it's a lot of ways that you can forgive. It says like understand forgiveness. Forgiveness is a change from negative to a positive. Absolutely. Or a neutral perspective on one perceived that was actually wrong. It doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the harm. Absolutely. It does not. You don't have to forget. You don't have to forget, and you don't have to excuse what the harm that has been done to you. Absolutely not. Let's say forgive yourself. Release self-blaming thoughts and tell yourself, like, I forgive you, like forgiving yourself. Like I forgive myself in a lot of situations, like for taking blame for things that happen. Like it's like, why am I taking blame for it? You know, um, it was the actions of others, having that forgiveness from me. It says facing your emotions. Um, it says it's normal to feel pain when someone hurts you. Acknowledge and process your feelings and accept why you feel that way. Exactly. I've had to put my emotions down like on paper and think about why I feel that way, how this person hurt me, and why I'm feeling like this. And it says practice forgiveness. Forgiveness can free you from the control that the person um that harmed you. It can free you from that. It can also lead to feelings of understanding, empathy, and compassion. Yes, when you practice forgiveness, it definitely can you know free you from that control, free that the control that that person has on you. So I definitely agree. They say pray for that person. Pray for that person. Yes. Ask God to help you love that person as God loves them. Yes, 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 yes. I definitely had to pray, ask God to put that spirit of forgiveness in my heart, to ask me to help me forgive and love them again. Absolutely, absolutely. I said, keep trying. It can take time to forgive someone, and it's normal to have thoughts of anger and hurt to drift back, but keep at it, and eventually you may be able to forgive. Yes, those feelings are normal, and they will come back. They will revisit, but just keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward until you're actually able to forgive. And they said focus on self-awareness, understanding that life is a journey that can help you heal and assure a better future. Absolutely. Absolutely. Woo! Man, oh man. It said letting go of the need for closure can help you with forgiveness. Letting go of the need for closure, accepting what is done is done, establish a habit of grateful thinking, view forgiving as a process, not an event. Yes. Realize that we come through hurt even stronger. That part, that part definitely makes you stronger. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Love that, love that, love that. And they say it goes in steps. It goes in steps. Like step one, acknowledge the hurt. Acknowledge the hurt. It says, then consider why I hurt you. Accept why I hurt you. Determine if you can go on from the hurt. Repair the hurt. Learn from it and forgive. Yes. All those stages. I've had to go through all those stages because it's a range of emotions. It definitely is, and it goes in stages. You know, like you said, you go through that hurt and you're angry, and like then you start get to that acceptance part of it, and you determine whether you can repair it. Yeah, all those steps. I totally agree. Totally agree. Um, and they said like strategies for when forgiveness doesn't come easy. It says just acknowledge your feelings, practice self-compassion and acceptance, reframe your thoughts about the person who has hurt you. Yes, that's big. Reframing your thoughts on the person who hurt you, reframe your thinking about the situation, and let go of any residual anger or resentment. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, those are the best ways to forgive. Those are the best ways to forgive. Yeah, I know I talked a lot about it. This is a subject that I've been passionate about. And yeah, forgiveness is not for you, it's for me. Okay. So just think about that. Just think about that. Right. So letting go, freeing your spirit, freeing your soul. Okay. Helps you in the long run. Get that chokehold off of you. Get that chokehold off of you and move forward. Keep moving forward with your life. Um, don't let nobody have that control and that power over you. Don't let nobody have that control over that power over you. But yeah, yeah. So this was a topic that really resonated with me in a lot of situations, and yeah, I hope you got something from it. I hope you got a takeaway from this topic. I appreciate everybody for being here. I really appreciate you for being here. This is the first um talk for the new year 2025. Like I said before, my sister Janae is under the weather, so she couldn't be with us, but she is still here with us in spirit and sending her love. I appreciate everybody who joined this chat. You could have been anywhere in these YouTube streets and you were a part of my live. And for that, I am so grateful. So, um, we do this on every Sunday. So we're gonna pray that my sister is feeling well and has a speedy, healthy recovery, that she can resume and rejoin our next live for our Sister Talk for Sunday. Okay, because we do this at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I always say that if you have not done anything for you, please do something for you. Please do something for you. Okay. And I look forward to talking with you next Sunday. You never know what we're going to talk about. You never know what we're going to talk about. Okay. But I'm going to wish you a great rest of your day and have an amazing week. And I look forward to chatting with you next time. Never know what the next topic's going to be. I'm TB. And my sister Janae God's Life usually tunes in with me for our Sister Talk Sundays. But until then, have a great day. All right. Bye, everybody.